Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lily, and I am so happy that you are here with me. I welcome you to my YouTube channel with open arms. In today's video, we are going to work on a couple things. We are going to continue working on the outside cover of one of the junk journals, and then we are also going to work on a junk mail envelope. And right now I'm showing you a sample of one that I made off camera. So we are going to recreate that and I will show you exactly how I did it. But before we move on, I just want to show you briefly because you know how I do. I will sidetrack. So let's get that right. Let's get that out of the way, the squirrel moment. So I have already selected the pages for the signatures, and each of the junk journals will have two signatures. And I chose about 20 pages. So each signature will have um, a random selection of 10 pages. And so this is what I'm showing you. And it's everything from coffee dyed, avocado dyed, maybe even tea dyed paper, jelly printed paper, graph, lined, scrapbooking, cardstock. I went through my stash and I just pulled out some pages that I thought would look nice and were cohesive and put two signatures together. And I typically like to work with a single signature junk journals, but because I'm working with a spine that is about 1 3/4 of an inches of 1 3/4 inches, um, two signatures will work perfect in there and not too many pages. So 10 pages each is perfect. And so I've done the same thing with the second signature, excuse me, with the second junk journal, but I won't thumb through them because they are basically the same types of papers. And so I just thought I would show you that because hopefully in the next video, I will be able to stitch the signatures and then finish embellishing the journals. Look what I did here, you guys. Did you guys watch my previous video? I'm going to link it. It'll be linked down below, but I'll also put a card up here so that you can easily get to it. But this is what the journal looked like. And then I had the genius idea that I would take it apart again so that I could stitch the outside border of that pocket card. You guys, I thrashed that card and I was trying to be really careful, but I thrashed it and I couldn't even salvage it. So I went through my collection of pocket cards and selected this one that reads, Go the extra mile. What does it say? It's never crowded. And the colors and everything about this card, I think um, just it works so much better. I mean, I loved the blue one. I really do like the way it looked before, but I love the way this one looks and the way and how it turns out at the end. I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, you could see that card there on the left-hand side, how thrashed it is. So if you watch the previous video, you saw how I had glued it down and then I I tore it up again because I needed to reposition it. And this is one, two, the third time. And yeah, poor little card. It just couldn't take it anymore. I don't throw it away. I save it. I put it in my junky junk box uh, for for future use. I bet you I'll find somewhere to use it. So this cute little new Pocket Life card has these faux photo corners. And I am just trimming around it so that it doesn't have a border. So it appears as though they are real photo corners. And so just kind of clipping away or trimming away that excess because what I will end up doing is layering onto that book page and then over the corrugated cardboard. And then those 3 layers will be glued to cover up the disaster that I left on the front cover. But we can fix it. Remember, I've said this in the past. We have glue, we have paper, we have scissors. We can fix anything. So if you don't like it, tear it up and start over again. You want to make sure, well, I want to make sure with the projects that I work on that I am 100% satisfied. Whether I keep it or I don't, I want to make sure that whatever it is that I create, that I absolutely love. And if I don't love it, um, I need to just work with it until it just completes me and makes me super happy. So now I am just going to um, glue it down to the book page. And these book pages I am taking from an old book that I purchased at a thrift store. And these are books that are ready to be discarded. And and it was only like $1. And it turned out to be a great book. It has great writings in it. I mean, it's really old and thrashed. The pages aren't quite brittle yet, but they are getting there. And look at that beautiful patina on the pages. But as I was tearing pages out, I one of the quotes in the book caught my attention. And so then I started thumbing through the book and realized that the book uh, is an inspirational book about quotes and poems and even inspirational and motivational writings from famous people. And so I thumbed through it, and all of the quotes that I came across that that I found inspiring, I cut out. And so I have a little bunch of just a little stack of quotes that I've already cut out. So we're going to work on those when we get to the envelopes. And I'll show you the actual book that I use because I'm going to take out a few more pages from it and to use for collage for the envelopes as well. So right now I am just taking some of the little Tim Holtz scissors and distressing around the book page. And because the book page is somewhat fragile, it kind of cut it, but it turned out really nice. It distressed it and it looks great. So I go around and I'm kind of curling some of the ends up a little bit, adding a little bit of Tim Holtz Distress ink to further patina it, but it's turning out. It's looking really good. I think the colors are much more cohesive. The blue looked nice, but this looks much better. So this is a piece of corrugated cardboard that I pulled out from my junky junk box, and you've seen that box. I showed it to you in the previous video. And I'm just going to tear away a little bit of the top layer to expose that center core, almost like the look of exposed brick. That's the look I'm going for. So I'm only going to tear some of that upper left-hand corner, and then I'm going to go catty corner and tear off some in the lower right-hand corner just so it balances out. I'm using the Tim Holtz pick to help peel away some of that paper, whatever I can, because I was struggling with my fingernails to try to peel off the paper, so I needed to use some tools. But yep, that's the look. That's the look I want. And I honestly didn't know. Um, that I would be doing this. I thought I was just going to layer it. I gathered my pieces, all the little elements, and I knew that I would be layering. I knew that I would be using these pieces, but it wasn't until I actually started cutting and assembling um, that I decided I would do the things that I'm doing right now to it. So I just have to start and then just let my imagination take over. So using that Tim Holtz pick, it really helped to peel it away. Be careful when you do this. I know that I'm working in the opposite direction, and then I remembered cut away. So if you're going to be distressing, um, just remember to cut away from you, and that way there's less chance of you cutting yourself because these are sharp, so you got to be careful. And those little scissors are so sharp. They did the job. And I do have a little tool to distress the edges, but good luck finding that. I don't know where it is. One of these days, you guys, I promise one of these days, I won't sound like a broken record. I will be in my forever craft room and I will never have to move again. One day soon. Watch. Stick around with me. It'll happen. So that's looking so nice and grungy and junky. I love it. This is exactly the look that I was going for, and I didn't even know it. When in doubt, layer. Just layer, layer, layer. Oh my gosh, that book cover. Oh, poor book cover. Book cover? Yeah, book cover, journal cover. Okay, what am I doing? Let's see. Am I going to start gluing things down? I know I thought that I would be done with this, that I would only need one more video to finish the junk journals, and I'm going as fast as I can because I really want to get working in it. But it's going to take me a couple more, I think. Only because this week has been really busy with work, and so trying to squeeze in at least 30 minutes to create has been challenging, but I do create every single day. It's how I relax. That art glitter glue that I just used, um, I purchased it in early 2020, and I purchased that bottle and then I purchased a refill bottle. Can you believe that it was just a couple days ago that I refilled that bottle? Unbelievable. It is my go-to glue. A little bit goes a long way. I love it. Um, this is not sponsored or anything. Um, but a couple years ago, everyone was just raving about it. And so I purchased it and I do. It is a great glue. If you have it, you know it's really good. So I was really surprised that I've been using it now for like a year and a half and I've only refilled it once. Okay, you saw me clapping, you guys. Clapping because look at how nice it's turning out. And now I just need to glue it down to the cover. And a little bit of glue goes a long way. I am heavy-handed and I tend to use more glue than is needed, but I'm really committing because I am not tearing this baby up again. And that's because I just love it. Love how it turned out. So yeah, I just barely filled it up. And it still had a little bit left in the bottle. Um, but I said, why not? Let's just fill up the bottle. So it's lasted quite a while. So let me know what you think. Watch the previous video where I work on the front covers and let me know if you like this, if you like how this one turned out, or if you preferred the other one. Now, I will say that I thought I had an extra or a second one of the blue pocket card. So I actually went into my stash to pull out the extra one, but I couldn't find it. And so I had no choice but to grab a completely different looking card. But look at it. It's beautiful. All right, so now we are going to move on and work on the junk mail envelope. And this is a sample that I made off camera. And I just needed some quiet time and it took just a few minutes to make it. And now I'm going to show you how I made it because I love how it turned out. Now, I only coffee dyed 4 envelopes for these junk journals. Um, but the other two are a different size. So I'm actually going to go through my stash and coffee dye another two so that each signature has its own coffee dyed envelope. So I folded this one. You can see there, I folded it so that it doesn't fold over the window. So it's not completely even, but that's okay because once it's in the signature, it's going to serve as a pocket. So it doesn't matter that one side is going to be shorter than the other. And then I cut a little notch there where the flap is, just so when it is in the signature, the flaps open and close nice and smooth. And then I added one of those quotes that I was telling you about from the book, and then a cute little bird stamp. Did some collage on the front, and I actually left the original um, canceled stamp. That is how it came in the mail. So I'm going to show you how it is that I'm going to use it in the signature. So it's also going to be stitched in there. And you could see how that notch where I cut the flap, and that makes it so that when you fold the page or turn the page, it makes the flap open and close nice and easy. The same with the other side. Cut a little bit of that notch, and now you have this beautiful pocket with a window. I love working with junk mail envelopes, and I love using them like this. The other thing that I did with this envelope is I stitched it on the sides, and I really do like how that turned out. And that was a happy accident. I didn't know I was going to stitch it, and that detail just adds it adds um, just the perfect little pop of detail. Okay, so now I'm going to fold this one, and this one actually folds in half, I think. Yeah, so it's perfectly folds in half. I am searching for my bone folder so I could get that edge, that fold nice and creased. This is my little basket of papers that I've been using for the junk journal, and it's all of the offcuts and some of the jelly print papers that I'm using for the for the signatures as well. And I remembered that I had dropped my bone folder into that little basket. So now I'm just going to crease it. And then the next step, I'm going to cut that little notch. And as I look at it now, I kind of work backwards because I could have just cut that little notch out when it was folded in half, but I work backwards. See right there, I could have cut that little notch off, but no, I do it the hard way. And it's not until I watch my videos that I realize why did I do that backwards? What why am I making it so difficult? So this is where I just cut that notch. Yes, I know I could have cut it when it was folded, but I didn't even think about it. But there's always more than one way to do things. The same with the corner punch. I could have folded it in half and done both at once. That's okay. So I'm rounding the corners just so it looks finished and it matches with the outside edges. And again, trimming this or cutting this notch out is so that it fits better into the signature. I do have the envelope, which is cut on that left-hand side because that is how I open my junk mail. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the opposite side because I am going to collage the inside of the envelope, but only the area that is visible through the window. And I do that so the security or that blue security print is covered with book page. It doesn't look bad like this. It looks okay, but it's going to look so much better once I cover it with the book paper. And this is the book that I picked up at the thrift store, which is full of great quotes and poems and things like that. Love the colors too of the outside of that, um, the colors of the book. I really like that turquoise. So I'm just going to glue that down. Just going to trim it down to size and glue it down. And I will seal the edges. My camera stopped recording, and I'm glad I caught it on time. I didn't get too far, but I glued it down, and now I'm just going to trim the excess off. One of my favorite things to do is to repurpose the junk mail envelopes. I enjoy it so much more than using purchased envelopes because these are free. They come in the mail, they're saved from the trash, and there's so many ways to repurpose the junk mail envelopes. I just love it. I get so much joy and satisfaction from working on these. And I know my camera cut off again. And so what I did is I also collaged, used some of the book page for the right-hand side of the envelope and cover up where that writing was. So now I'm just going to distress a little bit around the edges just to have the edges pop a little bit. But look at how nice that looks. The inside. Look at that. That window, the way that book page looks on the inside, I love how that turned out. So now off camera, I am going to stitch. I'm going to run it through the sewing machine to seal or to close the edges. And these are some of the quotes. Oh, I do this first before stitching the sides. So I love, these are two of the favorite ones, my most favorite ones that I just um, cut out from the book. And I love this one here. This one is perfect. Love it. So I am going to quickly go through some of the pages just so you could see what I'm working with right now. These pages make great for collage. And see, I'm pointing out some of those quotes. So I will continue to go through this book and cut out all of the quotes that I find inspirational. And I'm saving them, and I have a little stack of them so that I can use in my collage or other future projects. There's also some great poems in here and great writings um, that I will also cut out and use. But the nice thing about this book is that I don't have to worry about any of the writing being obscene or vulgar or anything, um, because I have come across some books that I've used in the past where some of the pages needed to be censored. So this one I don't, because it's all inspirational and beautiful, beautiful writings. So this will be one of my favorite books to use for collage. And here's a quote from William Shakespeare. So you know I'm cutting that one out and saving it. Yeah. Lots of great blank pages too, so that I can use for making journal cards and tags. And if you want to see how I make tags and journal cards from book pages, I did it during my Christmas junk journal in December. So I believe I have a playlist for the Christmas junk journal. You can find that if you go to my homepage and just click on the playlists. You can see the ones that I've created there. So I'm just trimming my little quote down, and I'm going to distress the edges just so it pops a little bit, because it does kind of get lost there against the envelope. The colors are so similar. So just going around it lightly. You know, one thing I've noticed since I've been here in Utah now for a couple years, it's really dry here, and we have the heater on right now 24/7. And then in the summertime, because it's 100 degrees outside, we have the air conditioning. So it's really dry, and I've noticed that my ink pads are drying out much quicker than they were in California. So, and I know I've heard of other people in different states say the same thing. So, depending on where you are, you can go through ink a lot faster. But I have the re-inkers, but I feel like I'm re-inking um, more often than I used to. And I know it's because of the weather, and that's fine. That quote adds so much like style to that envelope. Like it really doesn't need much more than that, except of course for that little bird. This is a stamp that my sister gifted me. She went to um where did she go? Portland a year ago. And she went thrifting and she went antiquing, and she brought me back all kinds of really cute things that I really did have every intention to show you, but I forgot. And I just didn't get around to doing it. But one day I'll show you all the cute little things that she brought me from Portland, and this was one of them. Cute little bird stamp. And these envelopes look so nice as they are. They really don't need more embellishing, but these are just foundation pieces, and I know I'm going to add a few more things, maybe a flower or something to that front cover. And I'll possibly leave the inside blank so that there's journaling space. But once I put it all together and I go through the junk journal, when I get to that step of embellishment, I may go overboard because I tend to do that. So off camera, I took it to the sewing machine and I stitched it on the left and the right hand side. And I really do like how this turned out. I love that little detail of sewing. Love it. I love these so much that for these journals, I'm only going to make four, but I think I'm probably going to have a session off camera and I'm just going to make a ton of them. I'm just going to make a bunch of them because these were fun to make. And I showed you my stash of junk mail envelopes, right? So I've got plenty to work with. And look, they turned out so nice. Let me know what you think, you guys. Um, we're almost there. I'm almost done with these junk journals. I can't wait to finish them. I really like how they're turning out. And thank you, you guys. We're almost at 1,500 subscribers. I am beside myself. Thank you so much for all of your support. I really can't believe it. You guys blow me away. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you that are here with me. I appreciate you so much. Let me know what you think. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'd love to have you here. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you in the next video where hopefully we get it done and add the signatures and embellish. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.